All right, good evening, guys. Counter Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for December 20th, 2022. I owe you an updated daily report. I put the wrong market snapshots in, but I'll cover the correct ones on the video, but I will resend the PDF. All right, we're going to start with Sniper Trade of the Day. Look at this is U.S. Steel on 3 minutes. The metals have been moving. Today was no exception. So here was where it closed yesterday. This was the tiny little 3-minute opening range. The second bar just exploded. I was able to catch it here with a standard risk box. By this time, when it closes here, your stop should already be locking in your no-lose plus dinner for 2. So if you were on U.S. Steel, you should have been good from the get-go. The second position, so this is about, that's about a 2-hour battle drill, more or less. Still going strong. Using the southern skin of the dragon by this time. There's 1 unit of reward, 1 unit of risk, so you get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the first one. 1, 2, 3, 3 on the second one. Should be around 8R on that first burst on U.S. Steel, right from the get-go. Then go golfing. Can't resist a re-entry with a COTA 2 in the usual way. High or low. Standard risk box. Up we go. Quick scratch. Stop and reverse after that extreme move. By this time, your stop should be probably locked in that much. Lock in another no-lose plus dinner for 2. Wouldn't be surprised to see it come down to this congestion area or all the way back to the open. So those are the two targets ahead. Almost there, but reverses and PSAR flip. So this little resistance area almost got there. Wouldn't be offended by a 1, 2, 3 exit here. That seemed reasonable. That's 1 unit of reward, 2 units of risk, or 1 unit of risk, 2 units of reward, I should say. Play the COTA 2. Scratch. Stop and reverse. Scratch. Stop and reverse again. About half an hour. Pause to refresh. COTA 2. Half an hour loss. Stop and reverse. About an hour. And that was enough for the day. So that first burst, that first pile of energy is everything. So these are traded correctly, and there's not much in there because it didn't move that much. This is the S&P on 30 minutes. Here's your 5-day look back, 10-day look back. We've got that big breakdown here, and it's given us 1 and 2 more breaks. Today was a slightly upward tilt. It feels like it's trying to put in a support level here near the 30-day low, so we'll see if it can start recovering. But today it drew a line in the sand and stopped the sell-off for 1 day. Still bearish normal. Absolutely typical behavior. So that was actually, slight gap down, sell-off, and then closed higher than yesterday's low. That was some support that was much needed. There's our test at 376. Long way to go to get to the dragon and to the PSAR and to the top of the dragon and to the PSAR flip. So a lot of room for work. But today it stopped failing so much. In the sectors, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. There's our S&P at plus 0.1. After what feels like 2 weeks of selling, that's we'll take that one. Diamonds were a little better at 0.31. Russell was a little better than that at 0.47. Emerging markets a little weaker at 0.03, and that was the boundary between gains and losses. Tech was the weakest stock index, minus 0.09. So not a whole lot of variation between the best and the worst of the stock symbols. And then treasuries gave back 1 3/4. So that almost feels like a shift towards equities. We'll take a look at what worked on the upside. But it was mostly the index today. So S&P Tech, lumber, oil, Aussie dollar, finance, Mexico. We talked about that one yesterday. Blended commodities, the other lumber. Individual companies, Cliff, Devon Energy, and that was about it. We'll take a look at the downsides. The underperformers. S&P off 0.10. Commercial real estate, Staples, Arc Innovation, Fangs, and residential real estate, minus 2.8. Lithium, 0.43. The VIX, 0.75. That also points to an upside move tomorrow. Clean energy, 1.12. Consumer discretionary, 1.22. Marijuana, another bad day, minus 6. Tesla smashed for another 8%. Individual companies, Intel, Robinhood, Texas Instruments, and NVIDIA. So take a look at this whole semiconductors. Texas Instruments, NVIDIA, and Intel, all significantly weaker than the NASDAQ and S&P Tech. So semiconductors down. Oh, we missed some of our other upsides. I'm sorry about that. I was going to say, it seemed like I was missing a few of the companies, like all the metals. That was strange. Yeah, so Cliff, 0.56. U.S. Steel, 2.7. Alcoa, 4. Silver and wheat and precious metals continued their strength. Bitcoin biotech, commercial real estate strong at 2%, 1.5%. Uranium, oil exploration, Ethereum, genomics, agriculture, materials. Microsoft better than Apple. So that feels more like it. All right, let's take a look at what the guys did today. All right, we're going to start with Tim in Tesla. There's his OR3. Takes the short position, quick scratch. A little slow on getting the PSAR flip here. But again, a quick scratch. I like the short right here instead of here because it's already rolled over. The whole market is rolling over. Tesla's been the worst stock in the market. It crosses below the VWAP. I'd like to take that short here rather than here, but that's still a good short. Stayed with it and got paid, and I love the re-entry. Minus 0.6. Feels like we should have done better on that one. But I don't see where their errors are. It looked all right to me. Meanwhile, on Disney, however, he does crush it. I like the OR3. There was an opportunity here. I like the second entry, the Kata 2, which gets paid. I like the re-entry that gets paid. I love the PSAR flip, which he nails. I think, especially given the Tesla move, when this thing comes all the way back here, and the early move of the day was up here, I think of all times that you would consider a 1, 2, 3 exit, it would be here, so that you could make bank on this whole thing rather than here. Doesn't seem like much, but those will add up. I like the stop and reverse, which also gets paid for 3.1. So nice work from Tim. Let's see, Wojcik. Devon Energy. Scratch. Doesn't play the re-entry until here, which scratches. Decides he's out of tune just in time to miss that. Rats. Tesla OR3. This should have been a short here rather than here. So a couple chops right away. And then I think we're slow getting in and then stayed too long. But you did get back in tune in time. Salvaged. Disney, excellent, 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 excellent. So +3. So don't stay wrong too long, and ride them when you got them. And that's 3.6. And then Apple, quick one. Then he got tied up here in Disney. This I think should have been better. I don't mind that. I'd like to see that as a stop and reverse. And then this is a stop and reverse. Those were two moves that we could have done better on. Yeah, I think the MRB sizing is weird here. If that's -1 and that's only +1, then that shift in the MMRB size hurt your performance a little bit there. Still a pretty good day. Kyun brings home 4.5 in Apple. Very nice. I like the quick scratch. He notices that's where he should have been. He does get it here, second position, gets paid, tries another one. I think you better scratch that there. But this is a great short. Crossing the VWAP for second position gets paid. 1 bar or 2 bars late, still gets paid 1. Tried it a little bit later, but you can already see it's starting to narrow. So that's a pretty good day at work. His efforts on Tesla. Tried a OR3 breakdown, quick scratch. That's a reasonable trade. That's a reasonable trade. This is an excellent trade. 2 good ones. Minus 1.5. Feels like we should have gotten more out of that one. Yeah, I see where to put. Yeah, this one here, that should have been here, and then we shouldn't have lost money. That cost 0.7. And yeah, that's just a 0.8 you're gonna take. That just caught you. So yeah, still pretty good day. I think that's good work. Makes up for this in U.S. Steel. So left a lot on the table in here. Take a look at the one I did on U.S. Steel, and give that more room to work with that southern skin of the dragon. But that's really nice. That's good. Yeah, nice. Everybody on U.S. Steel today. Nothing wrong with that. Here's 6.5 from Satya. OR3. Riding the dragon. R10 crosses the baby dragon, cashes it at the edge of the dragon, and then plays the PSAR flip, but lets it get a full wrist box south of the PSAR. Nothing wrong with that. Couple more that kind of scratched out, but 6.5. Woo, smoking. Not to be outdone, FSLR for solar. Standard work. Scratch and then a little taste, another 2.7. Pretty good. My brother's recent stats. Averaging out at 0.58 expectancy. SQN at 2.86. 50 trades, the best was 6.5. Worst was -1. That's good. 28-17. That's a 3-2 win rate. And then 1.3 to 0.5 is a 2.5 to 1 average payoff. So you could live with that. And that's what that looks like. That's so far this week. That's everything I got for you guys today. I'm going to resend the daily report with the better, with the corrected market snapshots on it. But this is if this was a day trade, this would be a morning hook. What we had today in the market was a potential turning point. It stopped failing, but you got to remember the primary move is still down. So this was day one of a pause. So tentative upside is there for intraday trade, but if it breaks down below today's low, then you got to be smashing that thing short. Tesla's still in the driver's seat for market direction. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and processed and the daily report resent. Take good care.